Hi, I'm Jacob from Cambridge Center Honda. Today we're going to look at all the items in your trunk, how they're used, and on a couple different models here at the dealership. On every vehicle with Capital's fuel filler, you'll find this little gray funnel in the back, and they give you this funnel in case you were to run out of fuel on the road. The big red jerry can that they give us all to fill lawnmowers and stuff works great, but you'll need the funnel to fill up so the fuel doesn't splash everywhere. On hybrid vehicles, instead of having a spare tire, you have a tire repair kit. This kit works in place of a spare tire. So instead of carrying around a big spare tire in this space where the hybrid battery would be, you have a little kit. And essentially it's a pump that has a sealant reservoir, and the sealant is pumped into the tire as you inflate the tire. Depending on the size and shape of the puncture that you have, the sealant will roll around inside of the tire and it will seal up any holes that you have. There is limitations to this system. For instance, if the hole is on the side of the tire, the fluid as it's rolling around in your tire won't be able to get onto the sidewall, thus it won't seal. Also, if it's a giant L-shaped gash in your tire, it will not be able to seal. There's just not enough, the sealant isn't thick enough really for that. However, if you've got a nail in your tire or a reasonable sized puncture, the sealant kit will take care of it, no problem. There's some other things that make your trunk more functional, like this 12-volt port here. If you have a cooler or a pump like the tire repair kit, or any other 12-volt accessory you want to plug in here, you've got a port for that, as well as a lot of hooks for things like the accessory cargo netting, or if you're bringing a heavy object home and you don't want it tumbling around in your trunk, you can have it tied down securely. Just in case of an emergency, if your gas store ever gets stuck in this little side compartment, at least here on the hybrid, you have this little yellow cable, and when I pull that, it will pop the gas door. I suppose this is also in the trunk, but you also have the middle seat seatbelt up in the top of the roof. If you're not using it, you can have it stored away nice and flush up here, so it's not stretching across. But when you need it, you can plug it in down at the bottom. Undoing it is a whole different process. So you'll take the buckle here, and the buckle is going to be your tool to undo it. So if you find on the side, there's a little slot here. You'll use the buckle and push into that slot and it undoes anchor. If you have a child seat that needs to be anchored in, you've got spots for that all around the back of the trunk as well. On non-hybrid vehicles, you still have your standard spare tire. This one, it's a little bit wider than just your regular donut and it's already pre-inflated. So all you gotta do is drop it down, in the case of the Pilot here, and jack up your car and put it on. The Pilot we were just on has this spare tire located underneath. The HRV, CRV, and Civic all have it located in the trunk. You can see you've got your spare tire, jack tool breaker bar, as well as that gray funnel. So if you've never used a jack before, essentially there's this little middle area of your jack, and this is where the pinch well will go. On the other side of the jack, on the far right for me, you have this little hook, and the hook is where you can put your jack tool so you can hoist the car up. In your tool bag, you'll find your breaker bar and your jack tool. It's meant to be jacked up from this part right here, and it sits down a little bit from the rest of the frame. So once it's like this, I always give it a little jiggle, try and make sure it's sitting well on that spot, and then you'll take your jack tool, put it on in there, and your breaker, and use that to then raise up the vehicle. We'll kind of do it like this is the easiest way. Today we went over most of the things that you'll find in the trunk of your Honda, but if you ever find something that you have questions about, feel free to let us know here at Cambridge Center Honda. We'd love to help.